Okay. Yeah, it's a bit chilly this morning, so I put on my jacket and I was thinking, okay, this is something, when I was talking about the Wrangler work shirts, another important thing is a sweatshirt. Since we were kids, we were always doing this where you wear a sweatshirt, zip front hooded sweatshirt under a regular jean jacket. It's really a very warm combination and a very flexible combination. And like in winter, I'm always wearing the Carhartts, but under the Carhartt rib overalls, I've got a sweatshirt on, varying thickness of sweatshirts. Now this, I think, is a Fruit of the Loom one. It's relatively thin, but it's just the right what I need for this time of year. And I tend to, like I said, I wear it underneath an overall jacket. I always thought it was funny when I used to see, as a fashion thing, they came out with some off-brand regular overall jacket, but with a hood from a hooded sweatshirt sewed into it. For the look of yeah, it was weird. I mean, why not just have an overall jacket and the sweatshirt? And if it's the right sweatshirt, you're able to take them on and off. When you take it off as a pair and they stay together. But it's flexible in that you can take one or the other or both. But like I say, this is the relatively thin one. And what you want to avoid are the ones that are, like this is like you would call it a fleece. It's cotton and a polyester combination, but it's got a little give to it. But they also make a kind that is lined with a foam. You want to avoid them at all costs. Uh, you can get a heavy cotton, like this is it's a Carhartt, but it's an older Carhartt, which I had to search to find because the newer Carhartt stuff uh, is not what I'm looking for. A lot of times they're really, really bulky. That's fine if you're wearing it as outerwear by itself, but in a layering situation, it's just too heavy. Plus, they have gotten to be ridiculously expensive. The new Carhartt ones can run $80. That's not in my, for a damn sweatshirt, that's not going to do it. So I go and look on eBay and I find the older, good heavy duty, but not that outrageous bulk of what the new ones are. And I'm happy with that. Because a lot of times people don't use clothes as hard as I do. So if you can find a used one that the zipper ain't tore out of or something, that's the way to go. But this I really only use in winter. And like I say, then it's under the Carhartt stuff. Cat, I don't need you. But I was going to mention something besides the foam lined ones that you really want to avoid are these where instead of it being a single layer, they have an outer layer and an inner layer, and they are not bound together by anything except at the edges. These things are horrible in that the sleeves are made in that same way, and when you try to put them on, you pull your arm through, and it hooks on that inner lining, and you always get, it's like you've got one garment inside the other, but the inner garment is really stretchy. You always get all bound up in them things. They're a horrible design. It wouldn't be bad if, like say, the sleeve had been fastened at the shoulder, but it isn't. It's loose. So when you put your arm in, you're getting half of your shirt, your sweatshirt is dragging down into the sleeve, bunching up right down here. You got a hell of a time even finding a way to get your arm through them a lot of times. That's a horrible design. At least the Carhartt ones, especially the older ones, it's a single layer. But avoid these at all costs. Man, they are nothing but a pain in the ass. It is a hateful design. But like I say, zip front gives you that flexibility for ventilation and easy on and off, and like it can actually stay with the jacket if you learn how to manhandle them, you know. But the ones that have the foam lining, they're always all 100% synthetic. They will go up at the touch of a spark. You know, at least the old Carhartt ones, they were a high percentage of cotton. Yeah, it's 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Now the newer stuff, I think you're looking at all polyester. You know, like they make what they call a rain defender. Well, there again, it's all synthetic. But the older stuff is good. You know, thrift stores, rummage sales, that's the place to watch for that stuff. This cat isn't actually my cat. He wandered in a couple of years ago, and he comes and goes, but he's very, very friendly and very demanding of attention. And he bites. Bugger you. But as far as, like I say, that rain defender that Carhartt makes, actually, you know, if you have an overall jacket, this is a Wrangler one, because they make them in the tall sizes, and it's long enough. I mean, it's no point if you got one that pulls up. But the thing about these, you know, again, it's that denim that Wrangler uses. But if you have them as an outer layer for a sweatshirt, if you get rained on, that cotton will swell and tighten up and be water resistant, let's say. But it makes me think of the old canvas water bags that were pure cotton. And you put water in and they would start to leak, and then they would seal themselves up. But it allowed a certain amount of evaporation to keep the water cool. I don't even know if they're available anymore, but it used to be a common thing, you know, the old canvas water bags. But this is the most hateful sweatshirt I have ever owned. But I had a hell of a time the one time I was looking in a store trying to find a good replacement sweatshirt. And the new stuff just don't really do it anymore. I've got to look at the old stuff. Because I like, especially I want zipper front, but I want the hood on them because, you know, that makes a hell of a difference. You know, if you could just be able to flip the hood up as far as heat retention, or if you're in the wind, or a lot of times I'll wear, well, I almost always wear this under my leather jacket on a motorcycle. Now, if it starts raining, if you pull the hood up under your helmet, it gives you a hell of a lot more protection. So I commonly do that. But there again, you can't have this big bulky hood. Like even this Carhartt hood is a little on the bulky size. So I have to have, I've got two different sizes of helmets, and my extra large helmet, ow, you biting animal. This one will work under, but in my regular helmet, it's a pretty snug fit, but kind of when it's raining, it's all right. But that's where you want, like this hood, you can see that it's kind of fitted. Some of the older hoods, or even now we run into that, they end up, they're actually just sewed, and they're a big peaky thing. Well, unless you got a bun in your hair, that doesn't really matter. And it just makes a big clump under your helmet. And they just look weird. I mean, it's like dwarfish kind of things. This is a persistent cat. If you can catch me sitting down or any place you can climb on me. With a good hooded sweatshirt with a high percentage of cotton. That's what you're looking for.